ישמחו השמיים, השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ותגל הארץ. ישמחו השמיים, השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ותגל הארץ. ירם הים, ירם הים, ירם הים ומלואו, ירם הים, ירם הים, ירם הים ומלואו, ירם הים, ירם הים, ירם הים ומלואו, ירם הים, ירם הים, ירם הים ומלואו. ישמחו השמיים, השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ותגל הארץ.
We now turn to page 38 for Lecha Dodi.
And I think this evening the first two verses on page 38 and the first and last verses on page 40.
And what do we do on that last verse?
I think everybody needs to get up and turn around when we get to the last verse.
Okay, and then we turn to
the Shabbat bride.
Awesome, awesome. So the very last verse, we all rise, turn to the entrance, and welcome in the Sabbath bride, which is the first time we've done that in this room for over 14 months. How cool is that? So everyone's really super excited. I can see everyone smiling. Yeah? Okay, here we go. Page 38.
Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekabala. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekabala. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad, Hishme'anu el ha'mechad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad. L'shem u'tiferet v'li'ti la 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 la. Lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekabala. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekabala. Likrat Shabbat v'lu v'nelcha, ki mekor ha'beracha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh v'machshava tequila la 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 la. Lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekabala. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekabala.
Page 40.
Hitoreri, ki ba'orech kumi ori, uri shidaberi, kevod Adonai alayich nigla la 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 la. Lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekabala. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekabala.
At the bottom of page 40, we rise and turn to the entrance.
Bo'i v'shalom, ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'sohala, tov emunei am segula, boi kala, la 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 la, lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei
Shabbat nekabala. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekabala la 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 la. Lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, Penei penei Shabbat nekabala. Lecha lecha dodi likrat kala. Penei penei Shabbat nekabala. Let's turn so we're not staring at the people walking in. That can make it really awkward. In any event, we're on page 42, which will conclude our Kabbalat Shabbat with Mizmor Shir.
Mizmor Shir Le'yom HaShabbat Tov lehodot l'Adonai Ulezamer le'shimcha elyon Ulezamer le'shimcha elyon Mizmor Shir Le'yom HaShabbat Tov lehodot l'Adonai Ulezamer le'shimcha elyon Ulezamer le'shimcha elyon להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נהדר, עלי היגיון בכינור, מזמור שיר ליום השבת. טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, ומעשה ידיך רנן. מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת. טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון.
Tov. Let us turn now to the beginning of the Ma'ariv service. On page 50, we rise for the Baruch Hu. Please be seated. We continue in the middle of page 50.
Ma'avir yom u'mehevi laila, u'mavdil ben yom u'vein laila, Adonai tzava'ot shema, El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv aravim.
On page 52, with everlasting love you have loved the house of Israel, teaching us your Torah, its mitzvot, laws, and judgments. Ahavat olam.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha, Amcha, Ahavta. Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha, Amcha, Ahavta. Torah mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanim limadata. Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanim limadata. Alken Adonai, Adonai Eloheinu, B'shofbenu v'kumeinu, Nasiach b'chukecha, V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, Uv'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed, Ki hem chayenu, Be'orech yameinu, Uvahem negei yomam v'layla, Ki hem chayenu, Be'orech yameinu, Uvahem negei yomam v'layla, Ki hem chayenu, Be'orech yameinu, Uvahem negei yomam v'layla, Ki hem chayenu, Be'orech yameinu, Uvahem negei yomam v'layla. Ve'ahavatcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Amen. On page 54, I'd like to invite Jake up to lead us in the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, v'chol levavecha, v'chol nafshecha, v'chol me'odecha, v'hayu hadavarim ha'ele, asher anochi metzavecha, Hayom alevavecha, v'shinatam levanecha, v'dibaretam bam, v'shivtecha v'veitecha, uv'lechtecha v'derech, uv'shoftecha uv'elkamecha, uv'shartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu l'totafot b'einecha, uv'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha. Please continue silently up to page 58. Vayomer Adonai Moshe lemor daber el bnei Yisrael v'amarta lehem v'asu lehem tzitzit al kanfei vigdehem l'doratam v'natnu al tzitzit al kanaf b'tir techelet v'hayal lechem letzitzit v'ritem otam oto v'uskartem otam et kol mitzvot Adonai v'asitem otam v'lo tatur acharei levachem v'acharei nechem asher atem zanim achareihem l'man tiskaru. Leman tiskaru ve'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim le'elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem
Emet ve'amunah, true and certain it is that there is one God, incomparable, and that we, the household of Israel, are God's people. Yasher koach to you again. We continue on page 60. Ba'elim Adonai, Michamocha ledavakodesh, Noratehi lo tosefele, Noratehi lo tosefele. Machut l'chora u'necha, Okayam ifnehenu, Ze'eli anu ve'amru, Ze'eli anu ve'amru. Adonai le'olam va'ed. Adonai le'olam va'ed. Michamocha le'elim Adonai.
Chamocha neta b'kodesh, Nora tehilot osefele, tehilot osefele. Kifata Adonai, et Yaakov, ugala miyad chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai, Ka Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai, Ka Yisrael.
We turn now to Hashkivenu on page 62. We ask God for help to help us lie down in peace and fullness and awaken us to life on the morrow. How we go to bed tonight will dictate how we wake up tomorrow morning. Do you want to wake up in the morning joyful, free, and rested? Then that is how we should go to bed, with the mindset, with the feeling of joy, with kindness and love in our heart, and that we will get a restful sleep. How we enter into the night will reflect how we enter into the morrow. Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, v'ha'amidenu malkeinu l'chayim, ufros aleinu sukkot shlomecha, v'taknenu v'etza tova milfanecha, v'hoshienu leman shmecha, v'hagen ba'adenu, v'haser me'aleinu, oyev davar v'cherev v'rav v'yagon, v'haser satan milfanenu, u'me'achareinu, zel knafecha tastirenu, ki el shomreinu, shomreinu, ki el shomreinu, shomreinu, umatzilenu, umatzilenu ata, ki el melech anun, v'rachum ata, ushmor tzeitenu v'einu, l'chaim u'shalom, me'ata ve'ad olam, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, baruch atah Adonai, apores sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
So I just want to say just a quick word about this beautiful prayer before Jake leads us in Vishamru and we all rise. There's a beautiful part to this in the Hebrew. Hapores sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. And many of us, or at least those of us who are parents, and I guess children can relate to that as well, but isn't there something amazing? Well, let's start from the children. Remember when you were younger, you were little, and you saw your parents, maybe you don't remember, I remember, and you would run to them, and you would jump into their arms, or you would kind of just hide behind their jacket or hide behind them and feel a little bit of comfort. Does everyone remember that? If you don't, you might recall that that's exactly what children maybe did to you or have done to you, where they run up to you and they put their head in your lap or they put their head behind you so that they can feel at least protected, safe. There's nothing like that, isn't it? When a child feels that faith in you, when a child feels that warmth and that love and that pull. And that's exactly what this verse discusses in the Hebrew. It says, who shelter your people Israel and protects them. It's not so much about us. We often think about ourselves. God protect us. God protect us. God help us, right? How many of us have said that prayer? Even if you don't really pray or you're not really somebody who believes in God, maybe that's not uncommon. But we've always, and many of us have often whispered, just help us. Have we not? That's a good prayer. It's a good prayer. But what about God? What about the entity that we are reaching out to? How does that entity feel? And it feels just like that. It feels pretty amazing when somebody trusts you fully, doesn't it? It feels pretty amazing when somebody is really going to you because they completely and totally have faith that you will be there for them. May we find time, I think, at least on this Shabbat, to not so much think about our needs, but maybe the needs of higher power, of our Creator, of creation that needs us to be the ones to reach out. May we find time to reach out in new and different ways, and that we aren't just thinking about being a Sukkot Shalom for us, but that we can be a Sukkot Shalom for others. We continue with Vishamru on page 64. Please rise.
ושמרו
בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. נהיו בני ישראל עוד היא לעולם, עוד היא לעולם, עוד היא לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. יום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Please be seated. Page 66 for the Reader's Kaddish.
יתקדש ויתקדש מרבה, ועמד יברח ירצה וימלך מלכותה, בחייכם וביומכם, ובחיי כל בית ישראל. בגלה, בגלה, ובזמן קריב ויאמרו,
אמן.
יהי שמי רב המבורך,
לעולם מהומיה יתברך.
יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה ברכו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה
תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירון בעלמה.
We rise for the Ma'ariv Amida for the Sabbath, which can be found on page 69.
mitzvotai tiftav ufiagid tehilatecha ufiagid tehilatecha.
When you have completed your prayers, you may be seated. Page 86. Amen.
Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitbar v'yitramon v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yithalal shmei kodesha Rechu le'elam mikol berchata v'shirata tishbachata v'nechemata ta'amiran be'alma ve'imeru
Amen.
Titabal saloton v'aloton d'chol Yisrael kodam avohon v'shmaya ve'imeru
Amen.
Yehi shlom ha'rabam yishemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav u'yaseh Shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru.
Yasher koach to you, Brina, in leading us today. And how impressive is Jake Sabio? Yeah, I'll say that again. How impressive is he? Yeah, a little bit. Feel that? Oh, Brina's talking to him. He's missing all of the great, we call it schut in Hebrew, this honor. And so you should feel the honor today and feel really empowered because you have done just a fantastic job. Really, you can hear him, can you not? So it's pretty amazing. And what a special young man, a special family. Mazel tov to you, and welcome to the extended family as well, to our synagogue. Thank you for making it out here, even in this crazy time. Isn't it important that we show community, show support, and we show each other that what really matters, and what really matters is what's happening here tonight, and I think you all agree to that. So with that, not to that, yeah, with that. Just a few words of Torah, and it's really weird because I'm having this odd sensation. I don't know whether to put my glasses on or not.
because I've been on a screen for so long, but then it's ruined my eyes. I don't know if anyone else has had that experience. It's just I can only see this far. So bear with me as I try and figure out whether or not I need these things anymore, but I desperately need them because I can't. There, I see you now. So good to see you. And then I have this other issue with it fogging up, and everyone's got solutions, right? I'll give you this mask, and it worked a little bit. If you're watching, I got a mask from a congregant that saw me messing. Anyways, these are all personal problems that I'm sharing with you. Forgive me. I'm just so excited to be here. Okay. How about some words of Torah, and then we have the opportunity to celebrate Jake and his family a little more, and then we'll have a chance to just let me take this off for this talk real quick, and then we do have an oneg. And oneg is really what I believe we as a community have been missing. The oneg is to delight in the Sabbath and to come together, have a little bit of food. It's a mitzvah, actually, to have 3 meals on Shabbos, if you didn't know that. It is a mitzvah to actually consume 3 meals. So hopefully you all fulfill that. I'm sure we all have. I don't think, at least I haven't missed a meal in a very, very long time. In any event, I want to ask you guys a question. And it's a very important question, and I think the question that we all should be asking ourselves as spiritual beings having a human experience is, are you the best version of yourself? Are you the best version of you? When you look in the mirror, are you pleased with your reflection? Intellectually, are you at peace? Or does your mind chatter over and over again? And is there stillness inside of you, what we call shalom? Shalom doesn't mean peace, hello, or goodbye. It means stillness, wholeness, quietness. Is there that stillness in you when we discuss things like spirituality? Or do you get a little squirmy? Tell me properly. Don't tell me what you think somebody wants to hear, but are you the best version of you right now? Many years ago, I traded a high-end electric guitar that I had in for what I thought was a more uncomplicated instrument. And then years later, I really began to regret that decision, that I traded in that guitar. Recently, in the not-so-distant past, I was blessed enough to purchase a brand new guitar. And in my mind, this would satisfy my longing for the old one. We've all had that longing for what was, and we want to replace it. And certainly this new electric guitar, it sounds amazing. It's really great. Come to my house. We'd love to have you. You can hear me play it. It's fantastic. It's really easy to play, and it looks so sharp. I'm so blessed. It's truly a quality electric guitar. Nevertheless, the electric guitar is absolutely nothing without electricity. If you don't have electricity, it doesn't make sense. In a sense, that power that every electric guitar takes is the same. It all comes from the same electricity. It's the instrument itself that determines how it's going to sound, is it not? In fact, all electrical equipment are like that. Same electricity, different outcome. Some instruments, right, make heat. Kind of like in here right now, I'm a little warm. But some of them make it cool. I hear it right now. The air conditioning is on. Some electricity is changed into cooling. Others make entertainment out of it with your TV, a microphone, whatever it may be. Some will make music out of it. Whatever it is, it's the same electricity expressed differently, isn't it? We as human beings are essentially the same exact thing. We have a life force in us. We all agree about that. We are alive. Our life is bigger than our thoughts, our ideas, our emotions, our philosophies, isn't it? If I was just to sit here and believe that that's all you were, would that capture essentially who you are? Absolutely not. It's in this way that we as individuals express our lives differently. Some make a meditation out of it. Some make love out of it. Others make alertness out of it. Others make kindness out of it. Some make prayer out of it. You are creating your own life. It's up to you what kind of life you want to have. Are you creating the best life you can?
The phenomena that I'm talking about is present in our Torah for this week's Torah portion, which I'm really excited to hear Jake's take tomorrow. So join us tomorrow. I know the family will be here. I know many of you will be here. So join us, please, to listen to this wonderful talk that he will give. But this phenomena is in our Torah this week. We see a series of laws that distinguish the priest, the Kohen. And the reason is actually given in Vayikra, which is verse 8 out of chapter 21, and it reads, it reads, V'kidashto ki et lechem Elohecha, hu makriv kadosh yiyelach, ki kadosh ani Adonai mekadshichem. Literally stating, and you must treat them as holy, meaning each and every one of you, since they offer the food of your God. They shall be holy to you, for I, the Lord, who sanctify you, are holy. What does this mean? The priests are kodesh. They're holy, which is better translated as connected. When you talk about holiness, you talk about really making a connection. Because God is connected to them, made them holy. The function of the priest is to offer this bread or sustenance physically, but also metaphorically speaking, to spiritually offer sustenance. We may not know how precisely or what precisely God is or how God acts in our world, but we all instinctively know, do we not, that there is something more than what we have right in front of us? That life is something more than what is just here? It's something more. It's a screaming. It's a call in each and every one of us. That force, that life force, the essence of life, drives the priest in this case. The results of that driving force for the priests is that they receive sustenance. They receive something. They receive something. The source of life is the same for all of us. And when we allow it to flow within us unadulterated, it becomes each and every one of us. If others receive guidance, spiritual direction, counsel, or even therapy, do we not call them a cleric, a priest, a rabbi, a therapist? Isn't that what we call them? But they're just allowing for this life force to flow through them. And it's the consequence of that flowing through them that we call them who they are. We are not who we are. We are who we become. This is why we are human beings, not human have-beens. How do we become the best version of ourselves, you may be asking? We allow the source of life, our life, isn't it, to express itself. It is up to each and every one of you to allow yourselves to be a complete and enhanced life, making rooms for yourselves to be expressed. In the end, it's not how fancy my guitar is, or how old it is, or even really what it sounds like. It simply must be played and be allowed to do so. Shabbat Shalom. We continue our service with Kiddush on page 90, thank you, and Jake will lead us in it. Page 90. Please rise, thank you.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
Rei peri hagafen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
Asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'avav ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lenikra'ei kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'charta eltanu kidashta mikol ha'amim l'shabbat kodeshecha be'ahava uvratzon inchaltanu Atah Adonai Mekadesh Hashabbat. your mask off if you want to drink it. It's easier. Yeah.
Please be seated. We turn now to page 732 for the counting of the Omer. Today happened... Yes? Well, yes. Okay, please rise. Are you going to do a bracha? Okay. So please rise. Today happened to finish the 33rd of Lag BaOmer. This was a stopping of a lot of the customs that are happening on this day. It's a semi-mourning period. So today ended that, and it starts back up. So there were many weddings today. There were also people getting their hair cut. You can see I got my hair cut. I haven't had it since Passover, so thank you. I look great, I believe. And then also we need to think about those, I don't know if you followed in the news, there was a terrible tragedy in Israel where on a festival for Lag BaOmer, many of our co-religionists unfortunately were trampled and killed at this time, yesterday actually. So just terrible. So we hold them in mind as we say this bracha to help lift up their spirits at this time. So we turn to page 732.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer. Hayom arba'a v'shloshim yom shehem arba'a shavuot v'shisha yamim la'omer.
Amen. Why don't we remain standing and turn to page 118 for Aleinu.
Aleinu v'shamech l'adon hakol v'atei
Gedula le'otzer Bereshit Asam Yikidiyah Ratzot V'lo samanu K'mishpachot ha'adama Shelo sam chelkeinu kahem V'gohor aleinu K'chol hamona V'anachnu korim U'mishtachavim u'modim Lifnei melech Malchei hamalachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shehu notei shamayim Ve'yoser haaretz U'mashav yekoro b'shamayim imahal U'shchinatu zo V'govhei meromim U'Eloheinu eino Emet malkeinu efes ulato Kakatu b'torato V'yadata hayom b'hashevota Elevavecha Ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim B'shamayim imahal Ve'aharetz Mitah
As it is written in your Torah, the Lord shall reign forever and ever, and it has been foretold, the Lord shall be sovereign over all the earth. On that day the Lord shall be one, and shall be acclaimed as one.
Kakatu b'toratecha Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed V'ne'emar V'naya Adonai le'melech al kol ha'aretz V'yom ha'hu Yivya Adonai echad U'shemo echad.
We ask those who are mourning or observing Yortzeit to remain standing. May the memories which we cherish and lovingly now recall inspire us so to live that we too may bequeath the heritage of precious memories to those whom we shall leave behind. In tribute to our departed, may we enrich the lives we touch. May we share and preserve the faith which our mourners will now affirm as they rise to sanctify God's name in the hallowed words of the Kaddish, which can be found
on page 124. In this week's yard sites, Philip Berman, father of Dory Greif, Ralph Barrick, father of Stephanie Gutman, David Kay, father of Ari Kosmal, Arnold Klein, father of Betsy Klein, Shirley Coman, aunt of Jeffrey Coman, Donald Krause, father of Jonathan Krause, Rebecca Maya, grandmother of Danny Maya, Carrie Rodman, sister of Penny Parole, Michael Shakov, grandfather of Olga Kusid, Millie Schulman, mother of Karen Jacobs, Barbara Simon, mother of David Simon, Ariane Verity, grandmother of Anna Kumar, Judy Wasserman, mother of Janice Wald, Mildred Wolf, father of Susan Kodo, and we are in the Shloshim of Frances Wendell, mother of Isidore Wendell. Again, the Mourner's Kaddish can be found on page 124. Together, Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shemei Rabbah, B'alma divra chirutei v'amlich malchutei, B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, Bagala uv'izman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mvorach le'olam ulme'omaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalet v'yitalal Shemei dekudsha brichu, La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Osei shalom bin romav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. May God, who makes harmony and peace in the heights, grant harmony and peace to us, to all Israel and all humankind, and let us all say Amen. Before we conclude with the Adon Olam, I want to call up our president, Roger Reiner, for a few announcements.
Thank you, Rabbi Yeshua, to you and Rena for a great service. Happy birthday and Mazel Tov on your mitzvah tomorrow. Jake, I just celebrated my 52nd anniversary. I did my Haftorah, so you can continue to do yours for the next 52 years, okay? Or longer. All right. And Yeshua to Bruce and Susanna for keeping those in YouTube land informed on our services. And we're hoping to see a more full congregation on these upcoming Friday services because we are now ready to have all of you return. Let's see, coming up tomorrow, we'll come back for Jake's finishing up on his beautiful bar mitzvah tomorrow. And then Sunday, May 16th, Shavuos at our temple at 7 o'clock. Sunday is our congregational meeting on May 23rd, Sunday at 9 a.m. Please join us for that. And then, not until later in the month, May 25th, Dining for Dollars. You'll be more informed about that at Lazy Dog. And you're always informed thanks to our Robin. Without our Robin, we would be very uninformed. So we always like to thank her. She hates when I do, but I thank her from the bottom of my heart. And without her, I would be lost, like the rest of us would. So good Shabbat Shalom again.
Thank you, Roger, for all you do. It's been quite an incredible year and guiding us through this time. I think we can all say that here we are. And here we are in a new and different way, but certainly through your leadership and the leadership of Congregation Beth Shalom, the staff, and certainly most importantly, at least in my opinion, the congregants themselves for being here. We are nothing without you. So thank you all. We are so grateful for each and every one of you, and isn't it amazing that we do have the opportunity to have on YouTube? And just so you know, if you want to, it's on YouTube. You can watch this over and over again. And okay, every year on your birthday. No? Okay, all right, that's fine. Why don't we conclude our service? We'll conclude with Adon Olam. We'll say Motzi up here,
and then we invite everyone to grab a little bit of a snack, and then please, we're trying not to congregate here. You can congregate outside. We'll open the doors, I think, and allow people a little time to congregate as well. Just reminding everyone to stay safe, but there is a little bit of delight, a little bit of oneg back there. So we conclude our service with Adon Olam on page 128.
Adon Olam asher malav b'terem kol yitzir nivra la'et rasa v'hefsa kol
Azai melech shemo nivra Azai melech shemo nikra Ve'acharei kichot hakol Levado yimloch nora Ve'hu haya ve'hu hove Ve'hu yeh betifara Ve'hu yeh betifara Ve'hu echad ve'ein sheni L'ham shilo l'hachbira Beli reishit, beli tachlit Velo ha'oz, v'ha'misra Velo ha'oz, v'ha'misra Vehu eli, v'chai gdoli V'tzur chevli, v'yetzara Vehu nisi, umanosli Menat kosi beyom ekra Menat kosi beyom ekra Beyado afkir ruchi Beitishan ve'aira Ve'im ruchi geviyati Adonai li velo ira Adonai li velo ira.
Shabbat Shalom. Let's rise for the motzi real quick.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom.